Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Kelly's Little Ones Nursery. How are you doing tonight? So, I am coming on here to do another video for you all. But before we get started with this video, I want to tell you welcome back to my channel first. If you're a return subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I either go live or upload a video. So on my community tab 2 weeks ago, I asked you guys to vote on content that you'd like to see on my channel. And I said, I gave you two choices on Welcome to Pathville or the Duggars. And most of you responded 100% the Duggars. Or, not the Duggars, sorry, excuse me. I can't edit that out. Welcome to Pathville. And the Duggar content got 0. But that is okay with me. So let's get into today's video. So because you guys voted for content on Welcome to Plathville, I thought we would do a recap of last night's episode of Welcome to Plathville. Now, you can find Welcome to Plathville on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. on TLC. Alright, so let's get started. So I missed last night's Welcome to Plathville, but I was able to find it and catch up on it, and I was able to watch it. Basically commercial free because I did find it. But I did find it. So, it starts out with Mariah talking about her parents and how since she's moved away from the farm, she has 2 jobs, a mechanic job and a job at the gym. And she is doing a yoga class at the gym that she works at. And guess who walks into the gym at that very time that Mariah is there doing her yoga class? Barry Plath and his 14-year-old son, Mariah's brother, what is his name? Isaac? Yeah, Isaac. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, we want to do some workout, but Barry's like, yeah, I heard Mariah's working tonight. I think she's doing a class. Let's go check it out. So they go into this, and she's in the middle of doing her yoga class. And both Isaac and Barry Plath are in the background and trying to copy the yoga that Mariah is teaching. And they're talking about, oh, well, I don't think Mariah notices us. And they're like, man, I'm not flexible for this. And then finally, Barry's like, Mariah. And then she is like, she hears it and she looks up and she's like, oh, hi. Continue doing whatever y'all want. I'm gonna finish my class. Like, And she's going, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm happy to, part of me is happy to see them. Part of me is a little awkward. It's been awkward since Micah and her had gone to see Kim and Barry a couple weeks before in the last episode that we've seen to talk to them. Things have been kind of difficult. So, and in the end, she does her class, and they're like, "Okay, let's go out." And then Barry and Isaac, they're out in the gym saying how it's nice to see Mariah and how Barry wishes that she would come around more often. Um, and Isaac is like, I miss my sister and I miss having her around. And then she meets with them after her yoga class, but for a brief couple of moments to say hi to them, just be kind of genuine, whatnot. So the next part we see is Ethan and Olivia. They're in their bedroom. Olivia is looking at houses online. She is talking about how where they live in Georgia is a very small town. They like having their own place, but she wishes that out of all the places that Kim and Barry Plath picked, they picked about 3 miles, I think, from their house, and how she wanted, she's glad that they're kind of away from the parents, but that they need some more distance between them. And they're looking at houses and the communication in that family. Oh, yeah, by the way, this is Fundy tea. So grab your tea, grab your wine, grab your hot chocolate, grab your coffee, grab water, grab juice, whatever, and let's continue. Cheers, by the way. Um, yeah, and so they're looking at houses, and Ethan was talking about how he loves the house that he lives in, um, and that although he has a little bit of reservation about how close his parents are to them, but he if he had a choice, he wouldn't move away. Whereas Olivia wants more space between her and so they go and look at houses, and yeah, that's okay, because Ethan is kind of being standoffish, whatnot. Um, yeah. So they finally find a house and they are looking at it and they agree, to make a long story short, to go look at the house. And so next we see Micah and his partner who modeled with him previously, how he was talking about how they have chemistry, um, and how they have chemistry, and he's kind of interested in her, um, and then of course he's sitting on the side of the road too. That he had a flat tire because he was talking about how he got this flat tire. He likes to show off ever since he could know how to drive. He likes to show off, and he kind of, you could see the dent in the car. He was talking about the underbelly of the car probably being ruined. He said he had to sell about 5 cows to get the car that he had, that he wanted to ask this girl out on a date or take her out, but how he didn't have a car. And so they ended up getting together, going out for burgers and shakes, and of course, she drove her vehicle. Um, they were just talking about the chemistry they had and that anything could happen, he says. It's like, it's really hard to kind of have private moments on camera because you have to realize the way the Plath children grew up, and so this is a whole new world for Micah, and he's still getting used to it. You know what I mean? And so they go out on this little dinner date thing, and sit in their parking lot and eating their burgers and having shakes and talking. And she's talking about how, she thinks that he's kind of trying to make some giving, he's giving her signals, but she's not sure. She wants to make sure that because he's a model and girls are always constantly trying to get in his DMs, that if he wants to date her, that it's just her. Um, and his lack of experience, guys, you have to feel for that. All right, let's move on to Micah, or not Micah, but Mariah and her boyfriend. Um, she, you see her sitting in her room in their house, in her and Micah's house, writing her song or trying to write her song, and her boyfriend calls her, and he wants to talk and get his feelings out, but the way she grew up, and he even pointed this out to her. We'll get to that in a second. And she was just like, I'm sorry, I just been really busy. I just been kind of busy working and stuff like that. And she was just she talked about how she didn't know how, that she wanted to be able to communicate her feelings directly toward him because she didn't want to lose him. But she didn't know she emotionally doesn't know how to do that. And so they eventually get together later that week and they go to the lake and talk. And he expresses his feelings towards her and says, I don't know if it's how you grew up. Whenever there's a problem in my family, we talk about it and we talk about it and we try to resolve the issue. But he goes, I feel like you're pushing me. You're kind of, these past couple weeks, it seems like you're kind of pushing me, backing away from me. He basically wants her to talk to him. Now he's like, oh my gosh, or she goes, are you breaking up with me? And he really didn't answer her, and he just was gently trying to just tell her, I just wish that you would communicate your feelings. And I think in the end they agreed to be friends. So I think they might have broken up, but they didn't really necessarily say that. But it was a sort of the conversation between Micah and um oh, I can't remember her boyfriend's name. It was kind of a one-way street because Mariah is not emotionally, she just doesn't know how to communicate. And I felt for Mariah because growing up the way she did, it's like they're taught to, if something, instead of talking about it and resolving the issue, they just kind of push it aside. And so but they're going to remain friends and still remain friends. Just, um, and in the end, he's like, uh, there was three things he had her promise, and oh my gosh, you guys, I can't even remember the three things, but in the end, before they left the lake, they they were sitting on the dock talking. Um, he's like, I'd like to meet your parents, just to kind of. I just want to meet your parents, and she was a little hesitant. Um, so yeah, and uh, she didn't really answer him, to be honest with you. And so they did show scenes for next week's episode of Welcome to Pathville. Um, it's uh, Ethan and Olivia talking about her struggles with everything that's going on between them because of the relationship with her in-laws, his family, and it sounds like she's struggling. Mariah agreed to go to her parents' home, and the boyfriend is coming over to meet Kim and Barry Plath. And Kim is saying, Mariah said he's just a friend, but is he really just a friend? And Mariah's like, we're just friends. We're just friends. And so we'll have to see how that goes. Um, yeah. So, um, oh yeah, and in the beginning of the show too, they actually they talked about Hosanna when we seen Kim Kim and Barry at their home with Lydia and one of the younger girls. I'm sorry, I totally forgot about this part. This is towards the beginning of the show. Um, they were talking about Hosanna, their oldest daughter who lives in another state and is married, and that she's pregnant. And they were talking about video conferencing, and Kim and Barry are not that tech savvy. And so and Kim was on her phone trying to figure out how to do kind of a video conference kind of thing. And so they were like, maybe there's an app or something like that. Or I think Barry said something about maybe we should go to the App Store. And then Lydia chimes in and says, while we're on the subject, I know that we've been kind of talking about maybe what's the timeline of you're thinking of me getting a cell phone, and just to keep in, that she wants to keep in contact with her siblings, Micah, Mariah, and Ethan, and even Olivia, just to maybe contact. She says she wants to text or call and be able to keep in contact with her siblings earlier. I use your phone, meaning her mom's phone. She uses her mom's phone. She uses her dad's phone to call or text if she's even allowed to. And they were like, well, they didn't really answer her because they listened to her. I felt like they listened, but they didn't listen hard enough. They sort of just kind of, when Lydia was talking about, asking about the timeline of her maybe getting a cell phone, I felt, this is just my opinion, I felt the minute she said she wanted to get a cell phone to keep in contact with her siblings, they just kind of let it go over their head and just totally just kind of didn't give her a straight up answer and went about talking about trying to go to the app store and download something or other to so they can have a video conferences with their oldest daughter, Hosanna, who lives in another state because she's pregnant. And so I felt for Lydia for that. And Lydia is at one point, she likes to go for walks and be alone. And she was reading her Bible and she was talking about how she misses Micah and Mariah and Ethan and misses the whole dynamic of the family being together and that the family is fractured and she just wishes that she there was something she could do. And I felt for Lydia on that. So yeah, that is this week's recap of Welcome to Plathville. So thank you for your vote. When I asked about what content you would like to see, Welcome to Plathville or the Duggars, and most of you voted on Welcome to Plathville. So this is my recap of Welcome this week's this week's episode of Welcome to Plathville. Once again, if you're new here, my name is Kelly. I do devotionals. I do things do reborn videos. I do reborn videos, devotionals, and some other content as well, such as this recap of this week's Welcome to Plathville. So this is over 23 minutes long. So thanks for joining me. I hope you like this content and I hope you like this recap of Welcome to Plathville for this week. You guys voted on it 2 weeks ago and I am just doing it today, so I'm sorry that it's getting out just 2 weeks later, but it's out. I hope you guys like it. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new and click that notification bell so you don't miss an upload or a live. And cheers. And we will see you guys next time.